Hello friends, in this video we will talk about layout component before we start coding it. So as you can see, this is the finish app, and if you can see here we have a layout component that wraps everything here. Okay, I am inside of the home component. Now that's the home page, the index page, start page of our application. And if we look at the page component, you can see that we wrap that one in the layout as well. And even if you see the post page, that is also wrapped inside the layout component. Okay, everything is wrapped inside the layout component, and that's how we get the same layout on all the pages. Because in the layout component, if we check the layout component, okay, let's check the layout component. You can see we have header, we also have injected the global styles here, and we have the theme provider, and the theme provider will wrap everything that we show inside our layout, and layout is going to wrap everything that we show on the site. It means that the theme provider, global styles and header is going to be available on all the pages, both on pages and post, and also on the start page, which is also going to be our archive page in this case, because we are going to have our post archive on the home page, on the index page. We have this layout component that will hold our header and also some other stuff here, but that is not visible to us. Only the header is visible, so that we can use the header on all the pages and post, and also on the start page. And global styles and theme should be placed as high up in the component hierarchy as you can, because in this case when working with Gatsby we don't have a special start component, like for example in React you have the app component that holds the complete application. We don't have that in Gatsby. Okay, and that's why we have to do little bit more work, for example the light and dark theme that we are going to do in the later videos. We want the theme that we selected to be available on all over the site. So if we navigate to any other page, we want to stay on the selected theme. We don't want to forget about the theme, and we have to click the button again, and that's why we have to do some work in our Gatsby browser file later on in this course. So this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello friends, before we start creating our website, let's do some cleanup of files in the Bootstrap application that we created with Gatsby CLI. As we are not going to use all these files, so it's better to delete them and clean it up. The first thing we will do is we will go inside the components folder and remove some files. Okay, so this layout.js, we will create a new component with the name layout.js. So right now this is not required. Layout.css is not required, image.js is not required, and header.js is also not required. So let's remove this 4 files. Okay, so I'll just right click and I'll click on delete. Okay, the only thing right now which we required is seo.js. Now we will have a different structure in my component folder. So inside component folder we will create a new folder with the name SEO, all capital letters. Okay, and press enter, and we will move this seo.js inside this SEO folder. Okay, so I'll just move this to this SEO folder, and I'll rename this seo.js to index.js, because I want to have the structure where I have a folder with the component name, and I have a file that's called index.js where we will have the actual code for the component. And then we also have the style component in a separate file in the same folder. So the reason to create this index.js is because when we import the component, we can import like this. Okay, so I'll show you how we can import. So import SEO from, and as we are using absolute import, so component slash, and then we need to write the name of the folder SEO. We don't need to write slash index again. Okay, this is the only thing we need to write to import the component if we use this structure. If I rename this to, let's say, SEO, okay, so then I need to write again slash SEO. Okay, so to avoid this writing double time, we need to keep this name as index.js. Okay, so I'll just rename it again to index.js. So this was just to show you, okay, how we can import the component if we use index.js. Okay, let me save this. So now we have created a folder with the component name which is SEO, and inside we have created an index.js file. Okay, So I will follow this structure. We'll create a folder for a particular component with the index.js file in it. So that's the SEO component. We have moved this component to its own folder, okay, and rename the file to index.js. Then in our pages folder, okay, so inside this pages folder, we don't require this page-2.js file. So I'm going to right click and delete it. So we only want index.js and 404.js, okay. So if I go to index.js, let me close this. So we can remove these two lines because I have deleted both the components, and the layout component we will create in the next video, okay. Then we can remove this as well. So let's remove the entire thing, okay. And here let me remove this link also, and here I will write start page, okay. And let me save this file, and here we need to rename this to SEO, capital letters, okay, because the name of the folder is in capital letters, okay. So SEO. So right now there is no layout component, so it won't work, but we will create that layout component in the next lecture, okay. And here we need to write a comment components, okay. So all our components will be here, okay. We will import all the components here, so we need to write a comment for that. So it's better to write a comment when we import, let's say if we are importing components, so we can write a comment like components. If we are importing styles, so then we can write a comment like styles, okay. So we'll follow this, and let me save this file. So we clean up the files, we clean up the folder, and we also have to change some stuff in 404 page, okay. So this is the 404 component. So here also we need to change this, we need to change that to we need to change this to absolute import, and here we will write components, okay. And this is SEO, and this we need capital L, okay. So let me save this file. So I won't change anything here, let's keep as it is. If you want to do some styling for 404 page, you can do it, but I'll keep it as it is. We have done all the things which are required to clean up the project, and now let's start the application. Obviously it will give an error because the layout component is not been created, so that we will resolve in the next video, but let me start the application. Okay, so here we got an error, can't resolve component slash layout. So this we will fix in the next video. So this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Friends, welcome back. In this video we will start creating the layout component. Layout component is very important because it is going to wrap our content on the site. So let's start by creating a new folder inside the components folder. So right click, and here I'll give the name as layout, okay, capital L, okay. And inside this I'll create a new folder, new file with the name index.js, and here I'll type RAFCE and press tab, okay. So this is a functional component, so I'm using this shorthand, okay. So here is the extension for this. If you click on this icon and if you search for you need to search for ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native snippets, okay, React Native snippets. So this is the snippet which I am using, so you just need to search and install it, okay. I have already installed it, so you can use this shortcut, okay. So now let's move ahead, and here we need to import theme provider from style component. So here I'll write import theme provider from style components. So this we will use later. So theme provider is the component from style component library that we can use to provide our application with a specific theme. And we have created our different theme color in our global styles, but we will not create the actual theme switching in this lecture. So for now we will choose one theme that we provide to it, and then later in the course we are going to change this with theme switcher button. So now we are going to import the styles that we have created. Okay, so we have created a global styles. So for that I'll write a comment styles. Okay, and here I'll write import global styles and comma, and we have also created light theme and dark theme. Okay, so light theme and dark theme from styles slash global styles. Okay, so let me check where is the style folder. Okay, here it is. So we have created this global style. Okay, let me check. Okay, so we have created this global style, so that we are importing here. Okay, and here we are exporting, and then we have a light theme and dark theme. Okay, so that we have imported here, and then here we need to destruct children. Okay, so child children. So children is the built-in prop in React that we can use to show children's that we are wrapping inside of this component. So let's say for example here is a p tag, and inside I'll write hello. Okay, so this p tag will be the children of that. Okay, so what we destruct out here. Okay, and that we can use inside of this component. I hope this is clear. Okay, so here inside let me remove this. This was just to explain you. So inside this return statement we will have a theme provider. So here instead of div I will write theme provider, and then we have a standard prop which is theme, that is going to be right now we will use only one theme, which is dark theme. And this is where we provide our theme, and in our case we will give a dark theme for now, and then we will switch this theme later when we create the button for that. And then we have our global styles that we have created. So global styles. Okay, and this will be a self close tag. After that we will write some text. So layout component, and then we have children. Okay, so children. Let me save this. So it will render everything that we have wrapped inside of this component. Now we need to go to pages folder, and inside we need to go to index.js, and here we need to import the layout component. So here I'll write import layout from components slash layout. Okay, let's save this, and we are already using it here. Okay, so it should work. So now we need to run the application. So I'll just open the terminal, and here I'll start the application by writing npm start, and I'll press enter. And as you can see we have the layout component and the start page as well. Okay, so this is it for this video, and in the next video we will create a static query for fetching our metadata for our site. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Hello friends, welcome back. So before we start this lecture, I want to make a couple of changes in this project. So the first one is, inside the layout folder we have index.js file, and inside this index.js file here we need to change the name of index to layout, because this is a layout component. So let's copy and let's paste it here. Okay, let's save this. And now inside the styles folder we have global style.js. So here I want to change this color dark gray. Okay, so this I want to change the hash code to 1A202C because I like this color. Let's save this and let's go to the browser and check. Okay, the color has changed to bluish. Okay, I like this color. If you want to keep the existing color you can keep it, or you can change this to it. Okay, so let me close this file, and now let's move ahead. So in this video we will create our first hook, and we are going to use static query hook from Gatsby, and we are going to use GraphQL to grab some metadata for our site, and the metadata for our site is in Gatsby-config.js. So here is the site metadata. Okay. So we can query this data from GraphQL query. Make sure that your dev server is running inside the terminal. If not, then in the terminal write npm start and press enter. And then we need to go to localhost colon 8000 slash front slash underscore underscore GraphQL. Okay. So in the left, we see all the queries that we can query in our application, and this is something which Gatsby create for us when it builds our development environment here. Okay, so we have site. Okay, let's click on it, and inside the site we have site metadata in purple and site metadata in blue. So everything which you see in purple is for filtering. So right now we will not use it, and this one we will use it in the future lecture. Okay, so now this is the blue one. So here it is the blue one, site metadata. So this we can query. Okay, so let's click on this, and now let's select author, description and title. So here it has created author, description and title for us. So this is the simple GraphQL query that we can use to query our site metadata. So by clicking them here in the Explorer, it creates a query for us, and it is very neat and simple. And if we press the play button, so this is the data which we get back. So that's the data that is in our Gatsby config file, and we can use this code exporter. Okay, and here we need to select static query hook because we are using static query hook, and these are the steps which we need to follow. Okay, so let's copy this. We need to import use static query and GraphQL from Gatsby. So I'll copy this and I'll go back to Visual Studio Code, and let me close this, and in layout component here I will paste it. Okay, so we need to import use static query and GraphQL from Gatsby, and then we will grab this data. Let's copy this, and here inside the component we will paste it. Okay, so we are going to collect the data that we get back from use static query hook in a const which I name it as data. Now one more thing which we required is the query name. So what I can do is I'll copy this and I'll go back to Visual Studio Code, and here I'll remove this. Okay, and I'll paste the code which I have copied, and here we can name our query. Okay, instead of my query we can give metadata query. This you can give whatever name you want, so I am giving metadata query because this is for site metadata. Okay, let's save this, and then we can console log this data so that we can check what the data is correct or not. So console log data. Okay, let's save this, and now let's go to the browser and we need to inspect. So here is the data which we are getting. So site metadata, and inside this we have author, description and title. So our query is working fine, and now let's go to Visual Studio Code, and now we can send this title to header component. So this header component is not created, we will create in the next video. So now if we want to reuse this query somewhere in your application, so we need to create a custom hook for this query. So we will do it right away. Okay, so inside the source folder we will create a new folder and name it as hooks, and inside this we will create a new file and name it as UseMeta data query.js. Okay, and please name all your custom hook with the starting word as use. That is the standard naming convention recommended by React, so React will know this is the custom hook. Okay, so we need to copy some code from layout component. So first we need to cut this, and okay, first okay, we have cut the code, but here I'll make a functional component. So RAFCE, press tab. Okay, then we need to import this use static query and GraphQL from Gatsby, and then let's go to layout component and let's cut this. Let's save this, and let's go back to use metadata query, and here inside this component I will paste it, and here also, and here instead of div we will return data dot site meta data. Okay, so we need to return because this is a function. So let's save this, and now inside this layout component we can import this hook. So here let me close this. Okay, it is taking space. So here I write hooks, and we will import hook which is use meta data query from hooks front slash use meta data query. Okay, and inside this component I will take a const data, and we need to call this use metadata query, and inside this parentheses we will not pass any parameter. Okay, let's save this, and the result will be same. If we log this data, you will see the same data, but it is giving me some issue. Const data use, this is not a function. Let's go back. Okay, this is a default one, so I think we don't require this. Let's save this. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me remove this export default, and instead of this we will write export. Okay, here, so let's save this, and now here we need curly braces because now this is not an default export. So let's save this. So now we are getting the data back, which is author, description and title. So now we are not getting the site and site metadata because here in the custom hook we have written data, site and site metadata. So if I only return data, then you can see site and site metadata, but here we have mentioned this, so that is the reason we are directly getting this object, okay, with author, description and title. So now we can use this anywhere in our application. So this is how we can create custom hook, and this is a React stuff. This is not a Gatsby stuff. Okay, so we can create custom hooks in React. Okay, so you might be familiar with that. So now we can use this custom hook anywhere in our application. So this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.